The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building.
I feel like I need to be in New Orleans listening to that, cuz.
Hey, I like that little beat, man. That beat.
Yeah, that is a nice little. You did your thing with that one, my boy.
Yeah. Man, shout out to everybody joining us tonight in the chats. Do got a programming note. We was expecting to have Mr. Billiot on, Mr. Kyan Billiot. Unfortunately, there's a situation that prevented him from joining us tonight. So we will shake back, have him back with us on another night. But that's about it, man, as far as that. Other than that, man, it's been a eventful, I guess you could say that. Eventful little weekend, man. Your boy Dylan, he got friends, like friends. Like Dylan and had all kind of invitations to birthday parties and stuff for the summer. So you know what that means.
Huh? Keeping you busy, buying all them gifts.
Exactly. But I just, I do it every great father does. Go ask your mama.
Can't go wrong.
Because if I get the wrong gift, she gonna fuss at me anyway. So
can't go wrong, my boy.
Yeah. But we do have a good, nice little show scheduled for tonight. Got
a little bit to talk about.
A little bit to talk about. There's some interesting things to talk about. I never thought I'd be talking about hockey in the summer, but we got a story we gonna have to talk about. We gonna get to it. But shout out to our people in the chat. Dave Irvin, what's good? Josh in the building. What's good, Josh?
Appreciate y'all being here.
Appreciate y'all being here. But man, y'all know what time it is. We're gonna give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline, betonline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Man, Paul Hub jumps in the chat and says, RIP to D-Hop's career. The QB carousel in Tennessee will give him PTSD from his time in Houston. So for those of you who haven't heard, D-Hop found a new team. Looks like he is signed with the Tennessee Titans. Shout out to our man, AB. I know he happy about that.
My guy D-Hop said,
"Bring me my money."
And that they did. But man, is this
that's strictly what it was about, bro.
Do you think it's
that's strictly what it was about? I mean, it's at the point of his career where he's not gonna get big money anymore. So he has, especially from a contender. So he went to the team that was willing to give him the most. I mean, if you look at teams like Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, where he kind of wanted to go, they weren't willing to pay him the money Tennessee was. So I think it ultimately came down to Tennessee or the Patriots, and Tennessee was where he decided to go. But I mean, I'm not mad at him. I mean, it's football. You don't have a long career as it is.
Right.
I mean, his legacy is solidified. He's one of the best receivers of his era, no matter if he has a championship or not. I don't think a championship is going to do too much more for him, his legacy. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be a Pro Bowler regardless. So what, you know what I mean? So go make as much money while you can, considering your next play could be your last play.
So with that being said, your comment was initially you said it was a choice between New England or Tennessee. So with what we have seen as the man, what's that in my beard? Anyway, from what we have seen with Tennessee bouncing between Tannehill,
how does it any different from New England?
I was just going to ask. That's what I was going to ask. What does that say about New England?
I mean, for one, I think New England's wide receiver room might be a little more stacked than Tennessee's. They do got Devontae Parker, they got Tyquan Thornton, they got Jacoby Myers. You know what I'm saying? They got a few different people over there. Kayshawn, they got a few different people over there. But Tennessee don't really have nobody. So for one, I think that's part of it. And for two, he's more familiar with the AFC South than the AFC East. Tennessee probably has a better chance of winning their division than New England does.
That's fair.
So I think if you're looking at it like that, that's probably part of it. Plus, the quarterback situation isn't great in either one. I mean, Mac Jones is 1 foot from losing his job to Bailey Zappi. You know what I mean? So I mean, it ain't like he's got Mahomes on one side and Ryan Tannehill on the other. I mean, neither one of them situations are great.
Right. You mentioned Kayshawn.
I'm not getting into that bull crap, bro.
I was just going to say, I mean, I know it's not on the docket, but there have been lots of rumors about, you know, saying, oh, he's not, you know, saying he's getting cut, this, that, and the other. There hasn't been anything credible.
I mean, my thing is, he's a 5th round pick, one of them 5th, 6th round pick. It's not far fetched for a 5th, 6th round pick not to make the roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, but my question is, since when did LSU fans like start clowning the guy whenever he doesn't live up to expectations? You know what I mean? Like, we usually defend our players, and you know, whenever there's negativity towards them in the press, you know, they come to ride. But whenever it's Kayshawn, it's like we kind of share it and kind of laugh, like, dang, this dude going through it. You know, this dude ain't even gonna make the team, LOL. You know, things of that nature. So it's kind of weird, the energy that we give in this Kayshawn situation to me. And I don't know where it came from, but it's kind of strange to me that it's different than what we normally see from LSU fans.
I completely agree. I have no clue where it came from. I don't know why these troll accounts, that's what I'll call them, have been continually making up these stories. But I do think that part of it comes from a little jealousy of just LSU as a whole, and trying to find a way to I guess you could say tear away at what has become almost a gold standard. And this is why I say that. We all know LSU went from being the laughing stock after winning the national championship and having 2 horrible seasons in football, to in football winning the West, winning women's basketball national championship, and then winning baseball national championship, and then being in a position in football where you return most of your roster on
I'm not gonna let you forget the diving championship that they just won, dog.
bro. I ain't even know. Shout out to the diving team, man. Anybody who, you know what I'm saying, do anything around water, you get my respect. I'm for real. Listen.
Hey, I couldn't do no diving though, bro.
Mm-mm.
I'd be scared I'm gonna break my neck.
That water, listen.
But
Anybody
no,
else?
I'm with you though. I'm
Flop,
with you
yeah.
though. It's definitely a renaissance, so to speak, for LSU athletics. Kudos to Scott Woodward though for you know what I'm saying, for being able to do what he did and bringing in these coaches, making the facility upgrades and you know the wholesale changes that need to be made. And shout out to President Tate too for being bought in to athletics and you know and not meddling and allowing Woodward to do what he needed to do.
What was the word they all use when they talk about?
Alignment.
There you go.
Yep. But alignment though, which is a crazy word to me, because there seems to be an alignment when it comes to the fan base, whenever it comes to how we look at certain things when it pertains to LSU. Like last year going into the football season, there was an alignment that Jaden didn't need to be the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And then there's an alignment of the way Kayshawn gets treated. There's an alignment whenever it comes to this. There's alignment when it comes to Will Wade. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like with the fan base, there's groupthink. And you won't groupthink whenever you have an administration, you know what I mean, and leaders in the athletic department. You don't necessarily want groupthink when you're a fan base. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like the fan base is trying to take on the persona of the administration. And I don't know if I like that too much.
Gotcha. Dave asked us, he says, you scared of water, man? I'm drinking water right now.
I'm trying to go swimming right now. Oh, see, we're talking about 2 different types of water.
Yeah. Don't get me started on swimming. I almost made a remark that would have got us canceled. But anyway.
Oh man, I know you had that swimming party this. Yeah, I'm sure you don't want to do nothing to do with swimming.
Oh no, I ain't getting in the water. Listen, the kids got in the water and I was just like,
that was enough for you, huh?
Hey. Do y'all thing. This old vet said fan base is toxic sometimes. Sometimes is I wouldn't say sometimes, most times. Most times this old vet they is toxic.
I ain't gonna say most. I mean, well, yeah, I would agree most times. It's just that most of the times we toxic towards other fan bases. But a lot of times we toxic to ourselves too, though.
Watch this. Hey, watch this. Paul Skeens is already pitched, and we got to rely on Ty Floyd. Oh my God, we gonna lose the series. We not gonna make it. I mean,
that is true.
Oh my God, true. We didn't get a first down. What are we gonna do? Toxic.
That's true. That is true.
Oh my God. Will Wade.
I feel like all fan bases do that to a certain extent.
Will Wade is coaching at McNeese State. We will never get another player in Louisiana. Toxic.
I feel like that's just overreaction. I don't feel like that's toxic. I mean, I feel like every fan base overreacts. I get what you're saying. You get what I'm saying? I feel like the toxic is saying stuff like the reason why Kayshawn about to get cut is because he a head case. That's toxic.
Or the reason why he didn't come back is because Jaden Daniels announced he was coming.
Exactly. Or the reason why he didn't come back is because of the BS rumor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's toxic. Yeah. What you talking about was just overreaction. We do that a lot too, though. I give you that. Yeah. I give you that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, man, talking about rumors and stuff like that. DeMario Tolan didn't make it. Well, I'm not gonna say didn't. He left LSU, went to Auburn. Is now reportedly not with the team. but it's not what most people thought. This is more of a personal matter, and I just like to say, my prayers are with you, brother. No matter what's going on, I pray that if what I heard is true, man, I pray that saying you find strength. So,
and then football, last thing that you need to be worried about right now.
Facts, big facts. Let's talk about a little NFL. Well, go back to the NFL. Alvin Kamara. Let's talk about it, man. Plea deal? What's going on?
He pled no contest, so he didn't plead guilty, but he pled no contest to a misdemeanor. Felony charge is gone. And if I'm not mistaken, it's like bodily harm or something. Like they took the assault ain't in the charge name or whatever. So when it's looking at the suspension, the likely suspension for him, it's kind of the question is, does Roger Goodell look at it like what the charge originally was, or what he actually pled to? Because that's two different levels of suspension, in my opinion. You have a felony assault or battery, and then you have a misdemeanor, like bodily harm or whatever whatever the charge is. So it's like that's two different levels of suspension. So do you go off what he was charged with or what he was actually convicted of?
So here's my question, because looking at history, something like this is usually, saying the more serious felony, it will get you like 6 games.
6 to 8 games, correct.
Do you see? I don't ever remember anybody getting suspended for like 2 games for something.
Well, that's what Ray Rice's suspension originally was, remember?
Oh, I thought his was like 4 games originally.
It was 2. It was 4 down to 2. And then the video came out and it was a wrap.
Gotcha.
But most of the time, 2 games for assault charged like this, 4 games for like DUIs and stuff. So I mean, I think his suspension will be anywhere 2 to 4 games. Maybe 4, appeal down to 3. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But I mean, anything 4 and under is a win for the Saints, right? Because we was talking 6 to 8.
That's true.
Before, you know what I'm saying? So that's got to be a win, right?
Gotta be. I mean, it's the only way you can look at it. Honestly,
I mean, especially whenever you consider that you brought in Jamal Williams, you drafted Kendre Miller with the assumption that he was going to be out for a while. I mean, you had to. That's you mean you don't make those kind of moves at running back unless you're specifically addressing the position.
With that said, I think that Mr. Williams is probably the most hilarious.
Oh, that dude's funny.
NFL player in the league. So, good question.
I hit you with that. Shaq Evans is projected to make the practice squad. The Saints are loaded at receiver, so that's not a slight at him. That's more so when you look at the receiver room, you got Mike Thomas, Chris Olave, Shaheed, Traquan Smith, Brian Edwards, James Washington, A.T. Perry. You know what I mean? Like,
Juice still with us?
No.
Okay.
No, they didn't bring him back. But that's 7 guys before I even got to Shaq. You know what I'm saying? So, but he is projected to make the practice squad, and so is Mark Evans. Mark Evans with a higher shot, in my opinion, to make the roster, but not by much. More so just because of his position. But I think both guys will be on the practice squad for
sure. This ain't even a hot take. This is probably a lukewarm take. Both gentlemen will end up on the 53 by the end of the season.
Mark for sure, probably because of the nature of the position. Somebody's definitely gonna get hurt on the offensive line. Not far-fetched to say Shaq, but I kind of got a feeling that he might get signed off the Saints practice squad. It might, so he might be on somebody else's 53
Gotcha.
before the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, appreciate that, D-Log. That's actually a pretty good one. Speaking of
penalties,
we was talking about Kamara. Tennessee.
And
University.
Tennessee. Kamara in Tennessee, huh?
Yeah, that's right. The Tennessee Vols, Tennessee Volunteers.
Let's talk about this.
They pretty much got what was an $8 million fine. They had to vacate like 11 wins or something like that.
Yep.
And what's his name? Jeremy Pruitt got a 6-year show cause.
Yep. That $8 million fine, which is the equivalent of a 2-year bowl ban, by the way. They had to vacate 11 games from. I mean, it ain't the NCAA fault that they only won 11 games, by the way. So before y'all start talking about the number of games, I mean, it ain't the NCAA fault that they were sorry. They had to cut 28 scholarships over a 5-year period. I think they've already done 16 of those over the last 3 years or something like that.
I want to say it was 18 was what I heard.
18, okay, something like that. But then they had a 28-week period over the next 5 years where they can't talk to recruits. They had to end unofficial visits for recruit by 40 weeks for over 5 years, and they cut 36 official visits for over 5 years and cut 120 evaluation days over 5 years. So it sounds like a slap on the wrist, but I salute the NCAA in this regard. The $8 million fine over a 2-year bowl ban, because the 2-year bowl ban would be hurting students who weren't affected by this. Especially when you consider that majority of the guys that Pruitt brought in transferred out whenever Hypo came in. So there's really nobody on the team who was around whenever all this went down. So don't penalize people who had no involvement in it. Just penalize the school, which you did. So salute to them for that. But I do want to say this though. I feel like we gotta stop with the comparisons. So and so got this many games. We got this many games. So and so got this long of a show call. So like Jeremy Pruitt got 6 years show calls. That's 3 times as long as Will Wade, if I'm not mistaken. Will Wade got 2 years show calls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's 3 times as long. You know what I'm saying? So that's significant for Jeremy Pruitt. That's who was involved in this. Just like compare Jeremy Pruitt to Will Wade if you want to compare LSU to Tennessee. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the compare. 6 years to 2 years. Considering one had 5 level 1 violations and one had 18, there's the 3 times as long. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like the punishments are pretty much on par. It's just that when you look at the fact that LSU had multiple sports involved versus Tennessee just having one sport involved, the punishments can't be comparable.
Yeah. All right. You ready for this sake?
Yeah.
I didn't care what the punishment was going to be because I didn't think there need to be a punishment per se. And here's my reason why. It's basically for paying players, right?
Yep.
Which is now legal.
But at the time it wasn't.
So it's like we're and I hate to get because this gonna get this.
But see, but so I
know hold on with this because this might get political.
You're going with the cannabis situation, right?
Bingo.
All right, so but check this out. I would agree with you. Like this, the thing, because it's legal now, the people who in jail should get like let go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out.
They still had a punishment.
Exactly. So the people, if Tennessee was on probation for it, then end the probation. You get what I'm saying? Now that it's legal, but you got caught at a time when it wasn't, so you still need some kind of penalty.
And here's the crazy part about it, they got caught 1 year before or the same year that they opened the NIL. So I get that.
But my thing is. And this is another thing. They deserve to get punished for that's like Will Wade. You deserve to get punished for being as sloppy as you were.
Now that I agree with. I think the coach should get punishment. The bowl ban, the fine for the bowl ban, I'm cool with that. The take away the scholarships and stuff, that in a sense it hurts Tennessee, but I think it hurts players more because there's some players who, you know what I'm saying, on the back end just don't, you know what I'm saying, won't be getting a scholarship, in my opinion. So I get, you get what I'm saying? I mean, and I might be doing, this might be a little bit of a stretch for me to think like that, but
I get, but it
I just
yes and no, like with it hurts them to a sense, but it's like if you look at it, it's like 5 scholarships. You know what I'm saying? Like LSU was reducing that and self-imposed over the last few years anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it hurts, but I mean it's like you don't have as many third string offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't hurting you too deep.
All right. So I get it, man, but I
want to talk. So Paul said the Pruitt punishment raises this question: if he was doing this at Tennessee, then what was he up to at Alabama under Saban? All right, I mean that's true, but all the big schools do it, but they don't do it as sloppy as Jeremy Pruitt did it in McDonald's bags, dog.
Which is why a lot of people well, Saban and a lot of guys were mad at when Hugh Freeze was doing it because of the way he was doing it. It's not that you were doing it.
It's the Will Wade thing. Like they don't do it out of their personal bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not how you do it. It's not what you do. It's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody does it, but not everybody does it so sly. And it's almost on some like since we're doing all these comparisons and stuff, it's almost like the what's your American Gangster movie, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
it ain't
Frank Lucas.
Yeah, it ain't how you do it. It ain't what you do, is how you do it. If you loud and all that, you deserve to get caught. You know what I'm saying? Like move silently and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. But you try to be all brash and loud and publicly with it, and you're gonna draw attention to yourself.
Yeah. What's good, Edwin? Edwin Moore. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Edwin came. I think Edwin got caught up with us with started messing with us with the HBCU hour and stuff. So glad you're stopping over. Let's talk about it's 2 All-Star games, man. I want to talk about.
Let's talk about the weak one first.
All right, let's talk about the baseball game. Go ahead.
I'm with you brought him up earlier. I got AB. I'm with him on this. The MLB does a terrible job of showcasing their. When you think All-Star game in any other sport, what you think of? Offense. Yeah. You think of a lot of offense. I mean, like the one we can talk about later, 250-something points scored combined. You know what I'm saying? That's what you think of with NBA All-Star game. Both teams putting up 160 points. You know what I'm saying? Like Pro Bowl, 60 to 56. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then here you come for the MLB All-Star game and a final score of 3-2. Like, where's the excitement? It's supposed to be an exciting time. You showcasing your talent, and true enough, the pitchers are part of your talent. But we don't come to an All-Star game to see a pitching duel. You know what I'm saying? We came to see home runs. We came to see runs scored. So they need to revamp the All-Star. I got a suggestion for them, Pooh. This is what they need to do.
Go ahead.
Every inning, bat through the lineup. Every inning. Don't keep outs. Every inning, bat through the lineup. And whoever got the most runs at the 7 innings wins the game.
I like it.
You get to showcase your pitchers. You know what I'm saying? If they get people out, they just get people out. But bat through the lineup every time. Let us get to see Shohei Ohtani bat 5 times. It's an all-star game. We don't want to see Shohei come up there, get walked twice, and that's all we see. Let them bat through every inning. You got plenty of pitchers for it. You got plenty of batters for it. Let them bat through every inning. And at the end of the game, whenever the score is 36-32, then we'll all be happy.
Hey, so the only reason I even checked out the All-Star game, baseball All-Star game, I just want to see if the National League was gonna finally win.
They did finally.
They finally won. And ironically, the I think he was the closing pitcher for the National League from Huntsville.
Kimbrel?
Yeah, he's from Huntsville.
Oh, And another thing, while we at it, back to fixing the All-Star game for him. Why the hell is the All-Star game on a Tuesday night?
Good question. You know what I used
to have the home run derby on Saturday evening, Saturday night. Had the All-Star game start at 2:00 on a Sunday, and that gives you plenty of time to have the game my way, where you bat everybody around every inning. Every inning, 9 people come up to bat both sides. You got plenty of time to play a game like that if you started on Sunday afternoon.
I got a better suggestion. Just put the All-Star game around the 4th of July. Had a game on the 4th of July. Have the home run derby the day before.
Then you're gonna be competing against Joey Chestnut, dog.
No, Joey Chestnut that morning.
Don't nobody beat Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, he that morning.
Yeah, he is that morning though.
Yeah,
but yeah. But man, I mean that's possible. I mean the way the schedule line up, but
yeah,
that's possible. But I mean, my thing is just have it on this. You got it on a Tuesday. Have it on a Sunday at 2:00 in the afternoon, bro.
That's Edwin bring up a good point. Baseball purists will be pissed with them altering the game, just like we don't like darn near flag football Pro Bowl.
That's true. That's true. But I say this though, I feel like baseball purists will be more okay with that than we will with flag football.
That's true.
Because flag football, you actually changing the sport. Like that's a totally different sport. Baseball, you just changing the rule. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you took all the physicality out of flag football when you do flag football. But I mean, he right there. But I mean, if you're the MLB, you gotta do something, bro. Like nobody wants to watch a pitcher do an All-Star game, bro. Yeah. That's what makes the home run derby so exciting.
You know what I miss, man? And this is
when he made it a tie.
No, remember remember when MTV used to do the Rocket Job?
Oh yeah, bro, the Celebrity All-Star game,
Celebrity All-Star games. They used to have stuff like
bro,
like it with basketball, like a 4-point shot or a 100-point shot or something like that.
Well, speaking of baseball 4-point shot,
go ahead.
They had that in the WNBA All-Star game this year.
I like it. Let's talk about the WNBA All-Star game, man. Go ahead, man. Give us a recap, because I got some things that that bother me about the WNBA All-Star game. But go ahead.
It's some things that bothered me as well. I'm pretty sure we'll have the same sentiments on that, so I'll let you handle that segment. But yeah, the WNBA All-Star game started with the All-Star Weekend skills competition. And I'll be the first to apologize to this young lady just for this. I've given her hell for her lack of shooting. And supposedly her being a sniper, but not living up to it. But now Sabrina Ionescu set a record, ladies and gentlemen, for most the highest score in the 3-point competition for either men's or women's NBA 3-point contest. She hit 37 points. She missed 2 shots. Two of them. She missed the first shot. Then she made 20 in a row. 20 in a row. But I think she used too much of a juju up, because she came out the next day and she was off for a little while, bro. First couple quarters she was off. She made a few 4-point shots after that. She caught fire in the second half, but yesterday in that All-Star game, it was all about Jewel Lloyd, ladies and gentlemen. Jewel Lloyd went off. Jewel Lloyd set the record for the most points in the women's WNBA All-Star game yesterday with 36 points. She went off. And a lot of people have been talking about the Sabrina and Jewel Lloyd, specifically them two, because of the NBA 2K cover. And they picked Sabrina because of her relationship with Kobe. But Jewel Lloyd also has a great relationship with Kobe, and Kobe called him his little sister. And it's almost as if Jewel Lloyd kind of felt like she had a point to prove. I mean, she is the WNBA's leading scorer this year.
Yeah.
But she came out and made a statement yesterday in that game. But Breonna Stewart's team won pretty convincingly. But Team Wilson, Asia Wilson's team, they just look like LSU out there. It looked like an LSU practice. Them girls just out there having fun yesterday and playing basketball in the meantime. You know what I'm saying? They really wasn't worried about that game, man. They was just out there having a blast. You had her, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Ryan Howard, and all of them on the court just basically acting crazy, having a ball. But shout out to BG though. She got a dunk in yesterday in the All-Star game.
Yeah. She did. So you ready for this?
What you got?
WNBA, NBA. I'll throw y'all in there too. Your scheduling freaking sucks.
Yep.
Why was the All-Star game at like, matter of fact, all the activities were like noon or better?
Well, the 3-point contest was at 2:00 on Friday afternoon, and the WNBA game was last night at 7:30. But the skills contest started at noon, 1, something like that, and the 3-point contest started at 2.
Why are we doing this okay. Summer League basketball, NBA Summer League games are getting more press than the WNBA stuff. But yet we continue to say, hey, why aren't there more teams? Hey, why aren't there more slots? Why aren't there this, that, and other?
That's the ESPN's fault. That's ESPN's fault. And I was gonna bring this up. A lot of people talk about the WNBA and they clown it, don't watch it, whatever the case may be. I get it, whatever. But it's funny to me that yesterday, Kevin Durant was at the WNBA All-Star game. Dwayne Wade just became part owner of the Chicago Sky, a WNBA team. Michael Bridges have been to multiple NBA games. You have all these NBA players who support, come to these games, buying franchises, becoming owners of these things. So they support it, they appreciate it for the high level of basketball it is. But yet you sitting on your couch eating Lay's potato chips are going to talk about how it's not good quality of basketball. Who do you think is more qualified to know what high level of basketball is? Kevin Durant or you? I'm just asking. Because Kevin Durant seems to think that it's pretty good quality of basketball because he takes time out of his life to go to Vegas to support the All-Star game. So, I mean, and shout out to Simone Augustus and Sylvia Fowles, who was there as well. You know what I mean? So you got all of these people who played high basketball at the highest level who tend to think that there's nothing wrong with the WNBA. So I just want to know why everybody else thinks that they are more qualified to know what good basketball is.
Man, I'm so sick of the because like my complaint isn't about the quality of play, and I know
I
know.
Yeah.
My complaint is the disrespect. It feels like the women aren't just so. I'm gonna say this: UFC, as crappy as a person I think Dana White is, they truly do give a lot of shine and a lot of love to the women in their sport. I hate that the NBA or the WNBA isn't showcased more. It's kind of like the afterthought. It's kind of, to me, it feels like the afterthought, the Little Sisters franchise, and it shouldn't be like that because
to your point, I agree. But to your point, how many homeboys do you know who will watch Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm, or they'll watch Cyborg versus Nunes, but they're not watching the WNBA? You know what I'm saying? And so part of it is the support that it gets from us as consumers. We'll consume the women's UFC just as much, if not more, than, you know what I'm saying, just as much, if not more, than the actual men's UFC. But we won't support the WNBA a fraction of what we support the actual NBA.
Yeah, that's true. Edwin says, do y'all agree that women's college basketball has a large following, but their fans don't follow the WNBA? I do. It's
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it shows in the ratings. From like the March Madness.
I think I know why. Because like let's take Lex, right? You know what I'm saying? You followed her at LSU for 2 years. You got attached to her. That she's not on the WNBA team. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you watch all of these players for 3 or 4 years, and then you wait for them. They get drafted. You wait for them to go pro, and then they don't end up on a team. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy for LSU fans when Simone and Sylvia was both in Minnesota. Yeah, we Lynx fans. But then when they retire, there's no LSU WNBA player.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So who you attaching yourself to? You know what I'm saying? And then there's so much turnover with the WNBA because there's only so many roster spots, only 144 roster spots. So it's like, what are you gonna do whenever she's on the Lynx this year? The next year she's on the Wings, then she's out the league for a year. Now she's on the Dream. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what you gonna do?
Yeah. Our dog Chris said women's college basketball more entertaining to me. First, Chris, I'm glad you watching something other than just football. But yeah, man. Chris, but like you said, now me and Mike, who been controversial lately, said if it wasn't for gambling, the overall product isn't good. The WNBA has run a 20-year financial loss. It is NBA welfare because it's subsidized by the NBA. I love women's college ball. Hold up, before you go in, I do want to say this. As far as the gambling part, with the WNBA, people don't barely handicap it.
That's why I make a killing off of it, because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, people barely handicap it. It's a lot of books don't even carry WNBA. A lot of big name books.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say gambling.
The only problem I have with what Meg Mike said is the overall product isn't good. I completely disagree with that. And my thing is, you can't judge how good a product is by whether or not people buy it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's been plenty of products that have been great. People just didn't buy it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the right market, whatever the case may be. It's a good product, bro. If it wasn't a good product, then these other leagues wouldn't be coming to get these players. It's just not supported.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not support. Like, you can't say college basketball is better whenever only a third, or actually less than a third of those people are going to even make it to the WNBA. How is that a better product? How is that a better product?
Yeah.
How is college basketball better? Like, whenever the best college basketball players we got right now just lost to Brazil, right? In the FIBA. Not knocking them at all. They were, playing women 10 years older than them. But the WNBA players beat them by 50. How is it a better product?
Yeah. See, there, Coach Green. There you go.
Talk your talk, Coach.
He said, "I coach women's basketball and I love it. The people who said it's not good is not a real basketball fan."
If you really like. All right, so we talked about the travels and stuff on Twitter last night, right? And then I brought up how in the NBA they travel like that on a regular game 100 times a game. And people talk about, I don't like that neither. Then you should love the WNBA, because if you want pure basketball, if you want the real sport of basketball in its purest form, is women's basketball. If you want real physicality, it's women's basketball. If you want real backdoor cuts and real X's and O's, and not just, one-on-one, take your guy ISO and motion offenses and all that, that's all the NBA is. The NBA is ISO motion offense. That's all it is. There's no real X's and O's drawn up. Everything is based off field. X's and O's is in WNBA.
So I might make some people mad here now, and I hope I do. You know what's better basketball than, like, summer league basketball is going on. I think summer league basketball is
terrible.
Thank you. You know what I think is better than summer league basketball? TBT.
Oh yeah,
because they actually the tournament, the basketball tournament, it's some former college players. So.
Me and Mike said, I have never heard somebody say I'm dying to go watch a WNBA game. I've heard people say I have to watch the women's Final Four, though. Women's college basketball is queen. Man, you must don't remember the WNBA back whenever the Sparks and the Comets was going at it, or the Liberty and them was going at it, or back whenever the Lynx and the Sun was going at it. Man, you better stop that, bro. This year alone, the Liberty versus the Aces was the biggest matchup in women's basketball we done seen in years. Man, that back whenever the Storm was going up against the Lynx, whenever it was Sylvia Fowles and them going up against Sue Bird and Tina Charles, and man, come on, bro. That was must-see basketball.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this last week. It's funny because we talked about this last week, but it will more say one reason WNBA isn't popular is because a bunch of folks pour mouth it and they don't watch it to know what they're talking about.
They're talking about. Exactly, bro.
I'm gonna say what people don't understand is how physical it is. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna say,
bro.
We literally just talked about this last week. And the biggest thing, because women ain't out there.
Boston work any of y'all on that block right now. Mm-hmm. But just because she don't dunk that mug,
yeah,
man, her footwork will run circles around you. Man, good. I want one of y'all in these comments to go post up with Tierra McCown and tell me she won't give y'all the business on that block.
Yeah,
it's crazy, bro. And that's what's crazy to me is all it takes is one Stephen A. Smith type person to clown the WNBA and everybody just run with it, man, without watching it for themselves, bro. No. I promise you, can't nobody in these comments check Arike Ogumawale. None of y'all can check her.
I bet nobody can really pronounce it either, but that's a different story.
They couldn't, but they got a better chance of pronouncing it than checking her.
Yeah. All right.
But my thing is, man, don't knock it, bro, just because it ain't for you, man. Like I don't watch golf, but I ain't out here just knocking it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for me. I don't watch NASCAR. I don't go around clowning people who watch NASCAR. Shout out Bubba Wallace, though.
Speaking of golf, Chef Curry. Chris, you're going to like this. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the hole-in-one he hit?
I saw that, man. Did you see the way he ran down the fairway at the
so funny. But not just that. He won by hitting eagle on the 18th hole to win it all. So, yeah.
I ain't getting into that because that ain't entirely true. But I get
yeah, but yeah, the hole in one and then the eagle to win it all. Listen, I clown and I mess with Chris about Steph Curry all the time, but I'll say this, man,
that dude the athlete, bro.
I would love to see if he retired from NBA and went and did like golf. I don't know how like because I ain't look at the overall score. What you know, what I'm saying whether he shot a, you know, because a lot of times in those amateurs they'll shoot a 75 and win it, you know, versus shooting like a 67 and make par. But it was dope, man, to see him do that. But man, I do want to touch on this last topic before we get ready to go to altar call.
You funny, man.
Who, me? Oh, I did the way I said touch on it. Okay. Northwestern University.
That ain't even the one I thought you were talking about. I forgot about this one. I thought you were talking about the hockey guy.
Oh, we got to get – I forgot. I said we were going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Northwestern hazing probe, though.
Yeah, that story there, bro. My question is the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so something came out Friday. Like, he's suspended for 2 weeks. Then over the weekend, some more stuff came out. And then Monday, that was like, you know what? We about to fire this dude. Like, what came out in between Friday and Monday?
I'm gonna tell you, it came out.
Backlash. That's what came out.
No, not like, just that.
All, but I'm saying, like, that's all that you got is 2 games for all of that. Yeah.
So we was talking. I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to Rev, right? And I was talking to Rev about. I said, man, that man got fired because them players were hunching on each other, and he was like, "What?" He's like, "I didn't read that story." I said they was hunching on each other. Then, what I think really got. Part of the
racism part they got.
The racism that's got them fired.
That's definitely what. But my thing is that stuff was already out on Friday. Ain't no way that just like your investigation ain't come up with that. Like, come on, dog. How your investigation ain't come up with that? Like, that was in your investigation. You just didn't know that the student reporter was gonna get that information too.
Mm-hmm. What's crazy? Northwestern is a really good journalism school too.
Yeah, and that's why ESPN ain't reporting it, because all they workers is Northwestern alums.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Then it wasn't even just the it wasn't just the football. It wasn't just Pat Fitzgerald.
Baseball too.
The baseball coach got fired. I'm like, dang, you out there letting them hunch too? Crazy. That was like one of the wildest stories I had heard. Wilder than the baseball scandal. With the baseball gambling scandal.
Man, that dude dumb, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how you gonna be like, hey, yeah, I get coach right here. Here's the coach right here. He's on my phone.
Mm-hmm. The problem was
I only want to bet $100,000.
Yeah, stupid.
You know what I mean? The max probably like, 1,500 or something, 5,000, but I'm gonna bet 100,000. It's just stupid. Just stupid.
Yeah, I let him know. And Dylan said, hang on after the show. He got to show you. He got his helmet and shoulder pads today. He wants you to see.
Oh, Lord. He about to run through that wall behind you.
Man, that boy, that was.
Man, let's talk about this hockey dude, though, man.
Yeah, let's do that. So, this story is probably one of my favorites. Scottsdale Police Department report states that former Arizona Coyote for Alex Galchenyuk, man, you already know I ain't whatever. Sure. Galchenyuk or whatever threatened to kill police officers and their families, and also repeatedly used racial slurs after being pulled over. He allegedly showed signs of impairment and had a heavily slurred speech. When he was in the patrol car, he threatened to chop the officers and reached under his seat before being handcuffed. He also made threats to call his connections in Moscow and have the officer's wife and daughter's kidneys cut out. 2 hours after he made the threats,
it's not funny, but it's funny.
Galchenyuk told the officer he was making the call and then laughed and said he was joking.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, man.
Bro, listen. I told you.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Like, those are serious, you know what I'm saying, allegations against him. But, bro, how messed up you got to be to say all that, dog?
Listen, that's you said cocaine. That dude was on. I ain't gonna say crystal milk.
Say it. I ain't gonna say it was it was powder cocaine. You know what I mean? He
was on some crack or something. I don't know. That dude was on meth or something. I don't know.
Just say no.
PCP.
Bro tried to bring the.
Also said he tried to bring the gulag to the States. That man said, "I'm gonna make a call to Moscow." Do you know how mad you got to be to tell somebody I'm gonna call Putin and have your daughter and your wife kidney cut out? Do you know how mad you got to be?
But my thing though, I'm very specific about what they're gonna do to them. Not that they just gonna kill them, but I'm gonna get their kidneys cut out. That's very specific, my boy. It's almost as if you have knowledge of someone who will actually do these types of things.
I wonder, was he gonna take both kidneys or just one kidney?
It's a good question. Because if he was only taking one, they could still live.
Yeah.
And he could sell it on the black market.
That dude, interesting, man. That is something.
That dude messed up, bro. That dude was on some good stuff.
Another kind of high. All right, man. You ready to go? Coach Green said HBCU Go is trying to work on a deal to bring the WNBA to its channel.
Oh, watch out. Watch out. I ain't got to buy WNBA League Pass thing. Watch out.
I was going to make a comment. Coach Green, I appreciate I'm going to go ahead and say it. Can we get – well, no, HBCU Go. Never mind. They all good. That'd be a good idea. I'm gonna leave it at that before I get us.
You about to get us suspended.
Yeah, we're gonna be
We're
suspended.
gonna be canceled.
Listen, I holler at y'all.
Views and opinions.
I'll holler at y'all at the media day before I make a statement like that. All right, here we go. I think we both got like positive.
I'll go first because yours is funny.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, so I need everybody, and I do mean everybody, who made fun of Sha'Carri Richardson for being suspended from the Olympics to come on down to the front, please. Because if you've been under a rock somewhere, or if you've just been, in the locker room in Northwestern or something, I don't know where you've been. But Sha'Carri Richardson has had one hell of a 2023 year so far. She has won the U.S. track and field championships, qualified for her time in the Olympics. And on top of that, she just beat Jamaica's Sharika Jackson to win I can't even pronounce this, the Cilicia Championships. But she back on top nonetheless. And there's a lot of people clowning her, saying she wasn't gonna be worth nothing. She was too ghetto. She needed to change her demeanor, all this kind of stuff. But yet she's still winning in spite of all of y'all, and in spite of all the things that y'all tried to clown her for. She's still made to where she was gonna be anyway. So kudos to you, Black Queen. Keep doing your thing. Keep repping the United States. Keep repping LSU, and don't change for nobody, baby girl. Do your thing. Look at her right there in them pink shoes. Look at her, just gliding. Look at that. So beautiful to see. Walk her down is just so simple, like, and that's how we do it, man. Shout out to you, Sha'Carri. Keep doing your thing. Turn up, man. Yeah, that's all I got, Pooh.
All right, man. For this altar call, man. I need Chris Doran to come down because I wish somebody had as much faith in me as Chris Doran has in Florida. But what has that got, Chris Doran? Let's just take a look. It seems like Chris Doran has always had these bets with Peter Burns, and he always ends up on the losing side. In his most recent bet, he's had to wear a full LSU baseball uniform. He had to dress up like Joe Exotic. He was a yodeler. Man, this dude was a clown. And he had to interview Brian Kelly. And he had to wear a full top hat with the mustache and the monocle. Listen, Chris Doran has had to wear so many different costumes and had to just, I don't know, take it on the chin because he believed that Florida could beat LSU in something here and there. Unfortunately, he's been on the losing side of everything. Kudos to him for having that faith. I wish somebody had as much faith in me as he has in Florida. But stop, huh? You got something to say?
I have as much faith in you.
I appreciate that. That is touching. That's touching. He said he got as much faith in me. I appreciate that. All right. That's all I got, man. That's just too funny, bro. That's too funny. All right, man. We'll be back on next Sunday. Hopefully we can work the things out and get no boy, get out my show. We can work things out. Get yeah, Kylan on. But like I said, we're praying for him, you know what I'm saying, everything or whatever he got. We'll be back. Oh yeah, hey, Coach Green said don't forget she took out the wing, then won the race. Yeah, you know why did you see the explanation of why she did it? So yeah. But we'll be back. Tune in if you will tomorrow. Tomorrow gonna be a good one on HBCU Hour.
Yeah, tomorrow gonna be fireworks for real.
Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman gonna be in the building. Let's talk about them. See what they looking like for the on the season upcoming season. Go get your stuff. All right, man, and You got anything else for get up out of here?
Nah, man. That's all I got. See y'all tomorrow.
All right, like that. We out. This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!